Hi, and welcome to Dear Jaime, the video series where I answer your most pressing questions about marketing and enrollment. Today's question comes from too many people to count, and that is how to repair a broken relationship between admissions and marketing. I know on many campuses this relationship is fantastic, but based on the amount of times that I get this question, this is something that plagues a lot of universities. My recommendations are to start by resetting the relationship. You can't fix the work without acknowledging the tension that exists openly and neutrally. So you might want to try something like, we've both been under pressure and that's shown up in the work we do together or shown up in how we work together. Create a shared understanding of the constraints that exist on both sides. So you might want to talk about the pressures that it takes to get that enrollment number or the pressures that are coming from the Office of the President around crisis communications. And then name and retire the really unhelpful narratives like marketing doesn't understand students as well as we do, or admissions just wants us to send more emails. You really want to say, hey, this is the reset of the relationship. We're starting from ground zero and we're repairing it. From there, you can re-anchor around a North Star. So you want to agree on one primary goal that you both own. So maybe you're talking about the inquiry to application conversion or improving yield, reducing summer melt, that sort of thing. But define that success in student terms, not in departmental outcomes. And then articulate a shared philosophy, like we are stewards of the student experience, not owners of shared tactics. And revisit that shared goal in writing. And then another thing I have found really helpful is to really clarify roles without creating silos. So you want to identify those swim lanes, who's responsible for what, who's the final say in each category, and make sure there's alignment on that. And the number one thing on the marketing side that you're trying to avoid is what I call shadow marketing. Those are those rogue communications where you don't ever see them, you don't know that they're happening, and that can really rub you the wrong way. And from an admissions perspective, there's opportunity to be off-brand here, which can be very damaging in communications with students. And then I would also recommend having predictable collaboration rhythms. Time can get away with you. So if you don't have standing touch points that have a purpose, then you might lose track of meeting and time can go by without you even noticing. So use those meetings for campaign planning, evaluating the performance of campaigns, getting alignment about something, and have those meetings on a regular cadence that's expected. In my past lives, I've met with admissions typically on a weekly basis, but if that's something that's too onerous for everyone to take on, you could do every other week or once a month. Just be sure that you're meeting regularly and that everyone knows what it is. And then finally, the most important thing is to respect each other's expertise. Marketing needs to respect admissions' proximity to student decision-making, and admissions needs to respect marketing's expertise in messaging, channels, and scale. So make sure you have a shared understanding of the expertise and retire all the old things that you used to say about each other so you can truly have a fresh start. And at the end of the day, somebody needs to take accountability for the relationship, and that can go a long way into repairing it. Today's second question comes from Sharon, who asks, how can I help my president understand why awareness marketing is important? I actually see this question a lot. A lot of times institutions are not investing at the top of the funnel because they don't have a budget big enough to do it. But if you can, I think it's really important, particularly if you're trying to reach first generation and out of region students, because awareness marketing really determines whether a school even shows up in the consideration set. And remember, students can't apply to or enroll at institutions they don't know or trust. And finally, the enrollment funnel does not start with an inquiry. It starts with recognition and familiarity. So this can impact the quality of inquiries, not just the quantity. So I've been talking with folks about but we get a lot of applications, but if those applications are from people who are just filling out the Common App and checking off some schools, they may not have a greater awareness of an institution, and they may not understand that that institution should be toward the top of their consideration set. So having awareness marketing can help identify those students who see the institution earlier and are more likely to self-select appropriately. And they enter that funnel with clearer expectations and they convert at a higher rate downstream. Without awareness, admissions teams have to spend a lot of time qualifying students who are never a strong fit. So I think it's really important to invest at least some portion of your marketing budget on awareness tactics to help create easier downstream activities for your admissions team and to help lighten the load of your marketing downstream. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you have a question for me, send me an email at jaime@solvehighered.com. That's JAIME at solvehighered.com. See you next month.